Let me paint you a picture, and I'm willing to bet this played out for you sometime in the last 30 days. It's 5:30 on a Friday and you finished your work.
Your body is in the car. Your brain is somewhere else entirely. You're on autopilot heading home. And once you reach home, and the thought of standing in a kitchen and actually cooking something? Forget it. That sounds harder than running a marathon. So you open the delivery app. You tap your way to a $45 order, Thai, pizza, whatever, with the tip and fees baked in. You get home. You crack something cold open. You collapse onto the couch and cue up a show you've already half-watched just to stop thinking. And you tell yourself, I deserve this. I put in the hours. But what if I told you the math on that statement is completely broken? What if all of that is quietly acting like a hidden tax, shaving close to 70% off your actual salary?
You think you're trading your time for $30 an hour? But once we run the real numbers, you might be walking away with less than $4 an hour. I spend a lot of time digging into the invisible math that governs how we live, the equations that keep us grinding on a treadmill that's moving just a little faster than we can keep up with. Today we calculate your real hourly wage. Fair warning, once you see it, price tags will never look the same again. Here's the core lie we're all handed the moment we enter the workforce. We're taught to define our value by our annual salary number. You make $65,000 a year, that works out to roughly $31 an hour. Sounds reasonable. Sounds like enough to live on. Imagine a bakery that pulls in $1 million in bread sales every year, but spends $1,050,000 on flour, rent, and staff. That bakery is bankrupt. The revenue means nothing without the costs. Yet when it comes to our own labor, we only ever look at the revenue side, the salary. We completely ignore the cost of producing that salary. But before that money lands in his account, the government steps in first. Federal taxes, state taxes, FICA. Suddenly that $31 is closer to $24, and we haven't even started yet. First, the commute. The average worker burns thousands every year on gas, car upkeep, and insurance just to physically reach the place where they earn their money. Let's put this conservatively at $4,000 a year. Then there's the appearance cost. Marcus can't roll in wearing sweats, business casual clothing, dry cleaning, grooming. Looking the part costs money, and it's a cost of employment. Then there's what I call the convenience tax. This one is brutal. He grabs the $5 off. He pays a dog walker. None of these costs would exist if he didn't have the job. He is literally paying to be employed. And then there's the darkest category, decompression spending, the Friday drinks, the impulsive weekend getaway, the therapy sessions, the online shopping cart he fills at 11 p.m. to feel something. Marcus wakes up at 6:30 a.m. to get ready, shower, shave, iron his clothes, get presentable. That's 30 minutes of preparation time he's doing entirely for the job. Then 30 minutes in the car getting there. Unpaid. His lunch break, he's not resting, he's not living his life, he's held in place by the office. Then 30 minutes driving back. Then he walks through his front door and sits there for another 30 minutes, just processing, staring, venting, checking his phone for work emails out of habit or anxiety. All of this is invisible labor. Add it all up. Marcus isn't working 40 hours a week. He's given the job 55 to 60 hours of his life every single week. We take Marcus's real income of $35,000. We divide it by his true annual hours, close to 3,000. You punch that into a calculator and that $31 an hour evaporates. Suddenly Marcus is making $11, maybe $8. In high-cost cities, he could mathematically be earning less per hour than the 19-year-old working a fast food register who walks to work, wears a provided uniform, and leaves every single problem at the door when their shift ends. That $100 pair of shoes? That's not $100. That's 10 hours of your life, 10 hours of traffic. You get promoted, a $10,000 raise. That sounds like winning, but now you need a better wardrobe, a second car, a more expensive vacation. When you run the real numbers, your actual hourly wage after that promotion might have gone down. That $5 daily coffee because you're too wiped out to make it at home. Over 30 years invested at 7%, that's almost $200,000. You're not just drinking coffee, you're drinking your future. His system runs on you being too worn out to do this math. It needs you to be a passive participant in your own financial life. It needs you to look at your salary and think that's pretty good, so you sign the lease on the apartment that's slightly too expensive. Finance the car that makes you look successful and lock yourself into a cycle. The answer is to ruthlessly optimize your real hourly wage. That number becomes your new North Star, not your salary, not your title, your efficiency. Can you negotiate 2 remote days a week? If that saves you 2 hours of commuting and $10 in gas per day, you just gave yourself a significant raise without your employer spending another cent on you. Can you start meal prepping on Sundays? That directly cuts your cost of goods sold. Every single dollar of work-related expense you eliminate is a dollar of pure margin, a dollar of freedom. You need to start treating your labor the way a smart business owner treats their company. Your life is the business. Your margin is the time and money you have left over to actually be a person. If you're making $100,000 a year but spending $95,000 and giving up 80 hours a week to do it, you are a failing business. You are burning through runway. You are one bad quarter away from collapse. But if you make $50,000 a year, keep $30,000 of it, and work 30 hours a week, you are a lean, profitable operation. You are winning in a way that the person with twice your salary might not be. The person with twice your salary might not be winning. Margin and time are the real scoreboard. This weekend, not Friday night when you're running on empty, but Sunday when you've had a chance to breathe, sit down and run your own numbers. Divide your real net income by the real number of hours you're giving to your job every week. Write that number down. Put it on a sticky note. Stick it to your debit card. The next time you're about to spend money on something impulsive, look at that number first. Ask yourself, is this worth 3 hours of my life? That one question will save you more money than any budgeting app on the market. We are in an era where time is quietly becoming the most valuable asset on the planet. The wealthy buy time back. Everyone else sells it at a discount without even realizing it. Don't sell yours cheap. Audit your situation. Eliminate the hidden costs attached to your job. Build the gap between what you earn and what you spend, because that gap is where your actual freedom lives. If this made you see your paycheck differently, share it with someone at work who looks like they need to hear it. We're all caught in some version of this same trap, but the math is how we find the exit. See you in the next one.